build is right now currently at 31, 32. It's because it hasn't been updated for a very long time, and it will not be updated very soon.
Why?
From what I heard. Because it's a small company.
Okay. Wow, expensive bike, man. Sebastian, thank you for coming to my home ground. This is a Time Cyclone 2022.
I think it's pronounced as Scylon, but they had like a copyright issue, so they changed the spelling, but I'm not sure whether it's spelled the same. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. I think one of the most expensive bikes that I have, but very interesting.
Yeah, thanks.
Could you tell us about yourself? How long have you been riding? And yeah.
I've been riding since like when I was quite young. My dad got me into it, so like probably during secondary school. So yeah, I've been cycling back then, but it was like a steel bike with like down tube shifters, but I don't even know what brand is it. It's not with us anymore. So
right.
Yeah.
Okay, and then how did you really get into road cycling, like seriously?
Road cycling, it started off with that bike first, but then like eventually it sort of like disappeared, and then like but every now and then my dad and I would be riding lah. So one day we decided to get a road bike, get like 2 proper road bikes, so him and I can cycle together. So we went down to this guy who had, back then there was only to-go parts, right? So there was no carousel whatsoever. So there was this guy who was selling like 2 bikes. One is like a Shimano bike, and the other one is Conago. So we went down to take a look. We chatted for quite some time, and then at the end of the day he was like, why not? Since you guys like are really into cycling, so like I give you a good deal, 2 bikes for 2K. So I mean like...
Which year was this?
When I was back in NS, when I was 18 years old, like 10 over years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
So like, yeah, it was a pretty good deal because he had like almost 8 over bikes at his home, but he was trying to clear because he already got his dream bike. It was like a Pinarello Prince with the very first generation of the i2. So yeah.
So
yep.
What road bikes have you owned before this one?
Before this one, it was still that very bike that my dad bought for me. It's the Conago Dream. So yeah.
So Conago and then onto this one.
Yep.
Okay, tell us more about this bike and the decision of getting this bike.
So basically, I was thinking like, I've been cycling for so long, so might as well just build like a dream bike that I've always wanted. So I did some research about how carbon frames are made. So I realized there's this like either pre-preg or RTM, which is resin transfer molding. And back then, I think there was only 2 companies who were doing it. One is BMC, and the model was Impact, but I think it was discontinued. And then second one was Time. So yeah. Subsequently, I realized like Hambini was raving about the how RTM is a superior method of producing carbon frames.
Hello, Hambini fans, and welcome and greetings from Guantanamo. Using a process called RTM. So in a lot of bike frame manufacture or even sporting good manufacture, they use something called pre-preg, which is like cloth with epoxy built in. You heat it up under pressure and then it all sort of goes and melts into one nice composite material. This is different. This one, the weave is separate to the resin. So you can weave whatever fibers you want, high mod, low mod, high strength, Vectran, Kevlar, whatever you want. And then you put it together, and then you introduce the resin as a separate product.
So yeah.
So what is RTM and how does it work, or how is it manufactured?
Resin transfer molding. Okay, pre-preg is basically manual labor, right? You lay it layer by layer, but because like if it's manual labor, there might be chances of error. You know, maybe that the worker had like a bad day, like anyhow
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So instead of using manual labor, it's like I'm not sure you have been to like a garment industry where they weave like the threads together. It's the same thing. So for time, what they did was they actually, I believe they invested a lot upfront in the machine for the weaving process, and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Time is a French brand.
Technically it's French, but it has been bought over twice, I believe. So yeah, the first time after it was being bought over, when I think it was before COVID. So I think the sales went down. So I think the company thought it was a bad decision. So the owner sold it again, and now it's actually owned by a US company, I think. But yeah, the brand is still French. Production, if I'm not wrong, has shifted out of France. Yeah, but the method of producing the frame is still the same.
Right.
Yep.
So is this considered like handmade or?
Not exactly handmade. I mean, like you can think of it as cutting edge F1 technology. Yeah.
But how does it transfer to road cycling? Is it really one of the most? Is it an aero bike, or what is it? Or all around the?
I think it's, according to their lineup, that's their aero bike one. So it's not aero, but it's aero enough, I guess. So yeah.
Okay. And could you run us through the equipment or the components that you have here? Very unique.
So the frame, fork, and seat post is all by Time. The fork, it's the one with the active dampening, and the seat post is integrated. So yep, and for the Groupset, DURA-ACE standard, but I'm swapping out to the THM SRM. So yeah, I swapped over the carbon tie chainring first, so I'm still waiting for that. A handlebar, it's a one-piece affair from THM. Let's see what else.
OSPW? The wheelset?
OSPW, ogle. Yeah, OCD. Ogle design components. Pedals look cool. Plate ceramic. Finishing kit, NV bar tape, carbon works, bottle cages, and computer mount. Yeah.
And you forgot the main one, man. These wheelsets.
Yeah, the lightweights. Obermayer Evo.
It's a German brand, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's still, I believe it's still handmade. Yep.
So just coming back to the branding of Time and their lineup, right?
Yeah.
How do they have like budget builds, or are they all extremely high end? Sorry, I'm not into.
They only do produce a frame, so nothing else.
Okay.
So they recently they do come in like a bundle group set kind of thing, but previously it was just the frame itself. Yeah.
Okay. I'm assuming this is the highest end one that you can get.
Okay, they do have three, I think. Fluidity, which is the lower end entry level. AlpDuS, there's two. One is the top tier model, one is the top tier, I think it's 01, I think. Based on the number of corners, right? So 01 is the top tier and 21 is the lower end one. And then they have the Scylon, and recently I believe they released the gravel. Yeah, the gravel one.
It looks like an extremely lightweight bike for a disc frame.
Still not UCI illegal, so.
So what's the weight on this?
Is 6.94.
Wow, I think this has to be the lightest disc frame that I have had on the channel. 6.9, man.
I think if you swap over to the ATOS, could be much lighter, but
yeah.
I really like this frame.
It is amazing. I don't know if it's being picked up by the camera. You can see the raw carbon weave here. It's crazy. Okay, cool. And Hambini, I think he has like we've briefly mentioned about this frame, right? So what was Hambini's view on this? He said it was a great bike, or sorry, I didn't really watch the whole interview.
I think what he say was like it was also what I found out during my research, where he raved about like this method of weaving carbon is much more superior because like the defects rate are much lower, right? Yeah.
Okay. And the fact that, sorry, I'll let you answer this question.
Yeah, sure.
What is the price? Let's talk about the price of the frame first before we move on to everything.
Frame, it's about 8.9.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the full build?
Full build is right now currently at 31, 32.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel that there is a diminishing return, like you reach a point where whatever that you pay or upgrade, you won't buy that speed? There's money by speed, essentially.
Up to a certain point. Up to a certain point, it's like, yeah, it's up. It's like same as like every other road cars, right? Up to a certain point, you're paying for exotic and yeah, lightness and exoticness.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the wheels. Let's go into the components.
Yep.
So Obermayer lightweight. How deep are these wheels?
48.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why did you get this, and how is it?
It was my dream wheel set. So
It's also a very exotic wheel set.
yeah, I mean, like if you can recall back then, in the peloton, no one was using it except what? Lance Armstrong, and he was like climbing up the hill, the mountains, and yeah. So to me, since it's a dream bike, so might as well just go all out.
Right.
Yeah.
How does the wheels perform?
Stiff, very stiff.
Stiff.
Yeah. Power transfer is excellent. Yeah.
Rolls well, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Some would say not as aerodynamic because the V-shape profile is outdated, but okay lah. I mean, like, I'm not Wato. I'm not going to do like 40 where I'm losing out like 5 watts. So yeah, for me it's good enough.
How much are these wheel sets?
11.
Wow. Okay. Are they one of the most expensive ones on the market, or are there more expensive ones? I would think so, right?
One of the most. I think the next most expensive would be Paddington, I think.
Wow, I have never even heard of the brand.
Weight-wise, is almost comparable. Australian startup. Usually, you see them pairing it with bump cycles. Yeah.
And you paired this with the Vittoria Corsa Speed.
Yep.
In what width?
25.
Wow, very old school. Is it because the wheel sets are meant to go for 25?
Yeah, sort of.
Okay.
I mean, like if you go higher, then the shape of the tire is not exactly optimized.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And these are carbon spokes as well, right?
Bonded to the rim and hub.
What happens if you break them? Like, where do you go?
Send them back for repair.
All right, right.
Yeah.
Where do you get this from? The wheels?
The wheels, actually my full build, I let Cycle Project Store handle everything. But I believe lightweights are being distributed by Hapyeong. Is it Hapyeong? Can't remember.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have a DURA-ACE group set.
Yep.
But you've swapped out the chainring to the carbon tie, right?
Yes.
What's the reason for that? Just lightweight?
Because my initial plan was to put on the THM SRM parameter. So yeah. So if I swap over, it doesn't look nice with the THM. So
okay.
carbon tie. Yeah.
Tell us more about the OSPW, because I was just telling you that it looks. I think it has to be one of the most nicest looking OSPW.
Yep.
But what OSPW is this again?
Ogle Design Components, OCD.
Okay.
Made in US.
Right.
So the pulleys are titanium. So yeah.
These
not
are like
the lightest lah, but it's just the blink factor.
Yeah. These are like the absolute black, where it's like the hollow cage, right?
Not a fan.
Not a fan of the absolute black. All right. And Cockpit, this is a one-piece THM as well.
Yes, correct.
And saddle is a
Berk.
But there's not much. There's no cushion at all. How is it like? It's okay.
Excellent. I mean, like if you don't cycle on PCN, check the speed you are going is. But yeah, it's fine. I mean, it flexes, so it's fine. If you are not overweight, you are light enough, you can get away with it.
Yeah. And this is a one-piece seat post, right?
Yes, correct.
You are a 171 centimeters and this is a XS.
Yeah, XS. So
How did you get the right size? And
I did the bike fit with fit scout. So yeah, so
this is CPS, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
correct. That's right.
Okay, and then they got you the right size. They just chopped off the seat post after that.
Technically speaking, you still can convert it to like to a normal seat post. You just need to chop it down, and then you get like the Time Scylon seat post and drop it in.
Oh, okay. So you can just like chop it all the way and then just put on the seat post on top. Okay, and wow. Okay, got a lot of questions here. Are you on wax or lube?
Wax.
Which one?
M Speed Wax.
Molten, is that molten speed?
Yeah, correct, molten.
How does that? Is that like you have to cook it or is it like a solution?
Cook it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to have multiple chains, right? Like
technically lah, I mean like the downtime is not actually that long, so you just need to remove it, wash it. I think it's less than a 1 hour job because you cook it for like the most 15 minutes for all the wax melt. Yeah.
Okay. And you were talking about this frame having this active dampening.
Yeah.
Does it really dampen anything?
I can't tell because like I mean I came from an aluminum frame, but I can say the ride is very plush compared to what I rode when I'm riding my Colnago, because like on my Colnago I was riding like the Tuas Industrial Estate. As you know, the roads are quite shit, and I was running my lowest PSI, and you can feel it's like you know the shakiness. But on this, I'm actually running the max PSI recommended, and the road, it's just smooth. I think it's like the whole complete package.
Right.
So it's like the maybe tires, the ISP. Yeah.
Are you on Hambini's bottom bracket?
Nope.
What bottom bracket is this?
Sea Bear.
Oh, Sea Bear is pretty good.
Yeah.
I used to have Sea Bear.
I wanted Hambini, but CPS recommended against it. But okay lah.
Is there any reason why they recommended against it?
No idea. But anyway, as long as the frame is fine, you don't need like something so specialized. So,
yeah. To wrap up, there are a lot of Instagram questions, so I'll save it.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. How just to wrap up, what's the performance like of the frame in terms of stiffness, climbs, flats? How would you rate it?
I think it's actually a very perfect balance. It's stiff when you are sprinting on it, but it's comfortable as well. So I think maybe it's the way that is the frame, the carbon is being woven. So I think probably that helps. Yeah.
Any dislikes or something that you think that could have been better on the frame or the bike?
Maybe internal cable routing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. It's still not internally routed. Is it because the frame just does not support that?
It's because it hasn't been updated for a very long time, and it will not be updated very soon.
Why?
From what I heard. Because it's a small company.
Right.
It's not. Yeah. It's really a small company. It's not like you cannot compete with all the specialized or giant whatsoever. So yeah.
Any more upgrades, or do you think this is the end game?
I'm just waiting for the SRM
the power meter.
I think that's it.
Right.
But I actually wanted to swap the brake calipers to Trick Stuff.
What's that? Never heard of it.
German. It's a German brand. They do mostly quite exotic brand. So yeah.
Okay.
It's slightly lighter, but apparently it's very hard to get.
Right.
The wait list.
It's really long.
1 or 2 years.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Recently, someone just gotten his pair of mountain bike calipers. I think the wait. Yeah, he said he waited almost 1 to 2 years.
What's so special about it?
It got bought over by who? Was it SRAM? I can't remember. So essentially, when it was being bought over, they halt all production. Not halt all production. Maybe they actually, I believe they overhaul their inventory system. So they totally stopped taking orders now. So and as well as COVID, so everything slowed down to a crawl.
Right.
So yeah.
Any dislikes?
Dislikes.
I mean, obviously you said besides the cabling.
yeah, apart from that, it's actually a dream bike.
Right.
Yeah, it handles like.
One more question
other.
was the computer mount. What is this? Is it by THM as well? Or?
No, it's by Carbon Works. Same as the bottle cages.
Wow, very unique the way how it's mounted onto the stem, right? Okay, cool. Okay, there's a lot more questions on the Instagram, so I'll save it. Okay, so now we'll move on to the Instagram Q&A. If you guys want to ask your questions, you can follow me on Instagram and you get the chance to ask your questions. A lot of questions to cover. The first one,
go ahead.
How much do these carbon disc brake rotors weigh? Didn't know carbon disc brakes exist.
It's not carbon disc brake. They do have carbon disc brake technically in the market. I mean, in the showroom, but I think it was not being produced because the demand was not there and the cost is quite exotic, I think. But this is not carbon disc brake. It's just the floating part where it's carbon. But the rotors are still I believe. Yeah.
What rotors are these?
Carbon tie.
Oh, carbon tie, okay.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on tubeless wheels? Is it good for you compared to tubular wheels?
Tubular.
Yeah. These are tubeless?
Yeah. Tubular is a pain in the ass, man.
I mean, nobody really uses it except the pros, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, it's, yeah.
Once you get a flat, you're dead.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you can basically call it good.
Right.
Call it a day, yeah.
Somebody wants to know the breakdown of the price. Probably too much to say. Let's start with the most expensive. And let's break it down.
Most expensive.
Obviously, the wheels, right?
The wheels, yeah.
So just now you said 11?
11, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Followed by the frame, I think is 9. Group set, it's 8.5, I think. No, not 8.5, 5.8. Pedals, I think it's 4 plus.
Then the cockpit, right?
Cockpit 1.7.
And the saddle?
Saddle is about 7 odd, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Forgot to ask you, how much is the OSPW?
I got it on discount actually.
Okay.
Because previously he was doing like the titanium lock ring for the disc brakes. Then he started tinkering with OSPW. So he said, the guy quoted me like, if I get both of them together, it's about, he'll give me a 10 off. So if I'm not wrong, this is about 1.3.
Ooh, right.
Yeah.
The ceramic speed is around that price, right? Is it like 800? 900, right?
That is for the uncoated, right?
Sorry, there's even a coated one?
Yeah, the coated. Okay, the uncoated is not lifetime warranty. The coated one is. So it's just a peace of mind, actually.
Right.
If you think about it.
Is there any warranty on the frame and OSPW and all these parts?
Frame, yes. Yeah. All is under warranty.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long are these? Like 5 years?
I'm not sure though.
Hopefully you never have to claim warranty.
Hopefully I don't have to,
Is this with the special headset? Any issues you foresee given it's proprietary?
It's actually, they call it the quick set. So basically what you do is like there's a special tool where you, the fork is, there's a thread on the fork. So what you do is, on the headset, you actually screw it in. It's something like the old school, Quill School adapter thing. So you just screw it in, then once you screw it in, right, the fork is locked into place already. There's no play anymore. It doesn't require...
So there is no compression plug?
Yes, there's no compression.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, you can swap out your handles without worrying whether it's being compressed properly or not.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty good because I always had issues with that, like, not having shaky headsets or not compressing it enough.
Some people say it's a hassle because they say it's quick set, but it's not exactly quick because you need to apparently it's very troublesome to remove the headset because you have to turn it with this special tool kind of thing. Yeah.
And is Time the only one who has this headset?
I think so. I think so.
Any issues with this? Given it's
so far, no. I heard apparently because the headset there's a thin film of wax or something, right? So once the wax wears off, there might be some play, but so far, no issues. Yeah.
I love this question. Don't you feel bad for not riding a Specialized or a track like everyone else in Singapore?
This is probably the only one in Singapore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will you ever get one track or a track Madone, SL7?
Actually,
F12?
I did consider the track before that, and probably the Pinarello, but then like I realized like once COVID hit, everybody's getting these two brands. I mean like, yeah. It's not as light, but at least it's more unique, I guess.
Do you know what's the weight of the frame?
Much heavier if you consider all things included, because the fork with the active dampening adds on another 300. So I think, but I didn't weigh. Apparently it's 1.5.
What makes this bike so pricey? You can basically buy 2 SL7s.
I guess the wheels in the first place and all the exotic components, I guess.
Yeah. The inevitable question, what do you do for a living?
If food delivery. I don't know.
Food delivery.
Just like the guy who was on TikTok and he was driving a Ferrari, right? And then the guy asked, so what do you do? He said Food Panda. So
I think I need to change my career, man. Are lightweight wheels really good for the price?
Maybe it doesn't roll as well, but it's good enough for me. Yeah, I'm not the kind that can sustain a prolonged effort, so I search a lot. So yeah, it's good.
Right.
It's a very nice wheelset to search on.
Yeah. And I bet it's a head turner, but the fact that this whole thing is so stealthy, right? Is it meant not to attract attention, or what was the reason behind this setup?
It doesn't have to be flashy.
I guess some people like very flashy. Okay,
No,
I like a very nice colored bike, like very flashy.
Yep. But if it's woven in such a nice manner, right, I would prefer to show it off. It's like, okay, you can choose a flashy Lambo or you can get a McLaren Senna, which like same thing, same kind of finishing. I mean, paint is heavy, man, right?
Yeah.
It adds on like 100 to 200 grams. So
Right.
yeah.
Do you have insurance on this bike?
Not yet.
Planning to get one?
I would think so.
I think in Singapore, or it's only Etika, right, who has a bike, bike insurance.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, this is a question for me. Is this the most expensive bike you've had on the show? The answer is yes. Very expensive. Good question. I think I missed to ask this also. Where did you get this frame, since like there is no distributor here in Singapore?
Yes, that was one of the problem that this build took so long. So apparently, right, back then, my bike shop, okay, there's literally this shop called My Bike Shop. They are the distributor for Time. But then, like I said, it was being bought over. There's so many things going on back end with change of hands, stuff like this. And then like, I contacted My Bike Shop first for the frame, and then like, they just couldn't get hold of Time. So it was like,
so how was the buying process like?
tough.
Yeah.
Okay, My Bike Shop couldn't get hold of them, so I got Cycle Project Store to help out. No response as well. So what I did was, I think I personally emailed them, and then I said I'm interested to get a frame. Where can I get it in Singapore? Is My Bike Shop still considered one of the distributor? And then they said no. So it's like, so what's going on, right?
Yeah.
So they said that the only way I can get is to buy it from them directly. That's what
From Time.
Hambini, that's what Hambini did as well, I believe. So I say, okay, I'm willing to put down a deposit, and then we can get it started, right? So back then, the website, there was like changes every other week. There was like options for ISP, then suddenly it was being removed. Stuff. Okay, so I just went ahead and asked like, if I want the ISP, would you sell me one? Say no. You can only get it through a distributor.
Okay.
So I had no choice. I mean, I have to leave it for my cycle projector to handle it.
But
It's
cycle
not-
projector doesn't sell time, right?
Yeah, correct. Somehow the French are being snobbish or whatsoever lah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
French being French, so they say they only deal the ISP if you are a bike distributor or a bike shop. So okay, I just hand it over to them.
But how did you get cycle projector to do it?
I went in for a fit. So I went there. Basically, they do custom projects for you. So I went there. I told them what I wanted. Yeah.
So when you went to Fit Skull, who is the bike fitting component of
Correct.
CPS, right? That was meant for this bike, or
Yeah.
you just needed a bike fit?
That was meant for this bike.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
went for bike fit. You told them, I wanted to get this bike. Can you help me build a
Correct.
bike?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because in my mind, I wanted an ISP already. So I definitely have to need a bike fit. I can't try and error. I mean, like once you cut it, you mess up, it's gone.
So CPS does custom builds, custom projects.
Correct. Yes.
Whatever bikes that you want to get, you can get it from them, even though there's no distributor here.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So what's the lead time on this frame or this whole build?
The whole idea of this project was, I think it was back in May, but I postponed it because there's rumors of the new Groupset coming in, right? So I postponed the build to December. Yeah. And then the frame, I think the frame took the longest, about 5 months.
Wow, it's really long.
Yeah. Very, very long wait. I mean, like even on the forums where they have distributor, right, who they can log into the B2B website of Time, they say like the stock is like really, really low. There's not a lot of stock in hand in the first place.
So anyone who wants to get a time, either you have a distributorship in your country or you just buy directly
Yes.
from them. But you said that sometimes they don't want to sell it to you, is it?
But apparently now my bike shop is back in business with Time again, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, because I saw them posting Time frames on their Facebook again. So yeah.
What brands do my bike shop carry? Sorry, first time hearing this shop's name.
Mostly Foldies, Brompton, Moulton.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they
But
carry some exotic.
surprisingly they have this. I mean, when I went over to the shop, they don't have the disc brake version. They only have the rim brake without the active fork. So I told them like, can we do something about it? They say, we'll try, but they didn't get back to them lah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you mean there was one frame exactly the same without the active fork
And on rims.
and on rim?
And it was on discount.
How much is that? If it's still there, I might consider.
Actually, very good deal. 2K plus, I think.
What? Really?
Yeah, no joke. If you want
But it
a
looks
rim,
exactly the same, just without active and rim brake.
correct.
That's cheap, really cheap.
Yeah.
2K. I'll buy the bike first
2K
before
plus
this
or
video
3K
comes out.
plus? I'm not sure whether they still have it. It's the older colorway though, but you can get it repainted lah. It's still much cheaper if you want a rim brake.
But
Right?
I like this
Yeah.
one. I like the fact that it's raw carbon, really
Yeah,
exotic.
yeah.
Last question.
Sure.
On the, I'm not sure if I'm going to butcher the name of this cockpit. It's called THM Frontal.
Frontal, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. It's German.
Right. Does it allow for internal routing? I don't see it being internally routed.
I'm not sure though. I mean, like even if it's internal, it has to come out.
Still come out
because,
of the frame, right?
Because the frame doesn't accept internal routing. So
Okay, that's all of the questions that I have.
Cool.
Anything
Sure.
else you want to speak about? Or we good?
all good.
We're
Yeah.
good? Alright, thank you, Sap, so much.
Welcome.
We've got Rance behind the camera. He'll take some good photos for us. Hopefully, he'll come out great. Rance, thanks for coming. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching.
Driving all day, searching all night. Can't seem to focus this double sight. This is a tale sworn in a sight.